Hello and welcome. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Taiyo Battlecruiser. So the Taiyo Battlecruiser is the next ship in my Battlecruiser series, and that basically just means that this is a Class C ship that is designed to dish out punishment. So, should be able to go anywhere, duke it out with anybody, and also have enough cargo capacity that you can afford to pick up a few goodies on the way. So for this one, let me just finish and give you a nice rear view. And then we will head on down to Neon and build it. So you will need the ship flip glitch enabled on this ship if you want to build it. And otherwise, you can pick up everything else that you need from Taiyo Astroneering right here on Neon. So let's pop on down to Neon. We will take a tour, see how the ship is built, and then test it out. So you can see that we do have the rear entry Taiyo docker, or landing bay. And the very first thing that you find when you come in is the armory. We have a space for all of our weapons, a holding cell, and lights. They even turn on. Alright, directly in front of the armory we have a 1x1 companionway. And in front of that we have our infirmary. You can see this ladder goes up 3 levels. So going up 1, we end up in another 1x1 companionway. Coming back, we find ourselves in a 2x2 all-in-one. We've got 4 beds, our main galley, and a bathroom. Then right over here, we can open this door, and we find ourselves in a 2x1 all-in-one. You'll notice that it decided to put the door where the bathroom would otherwise be. If I was doing this with the Place with Doors Myself mod, I would just place the door right there instead. Moving forward, we find ourselves in a 2x2 computer core. And then over here, through this door, we have another all-in-one. This one does keep the bathroom. So far we are up to 12 beds on this ship. Going up a level, we find ourselves in a 1x1 companionway with a few doors coming off of it. Going forwards, we find ourselves in the living quarters. I just decided to put this in and spice things up a little bit, but if you were looking at it from pure crew perspective, this would probably be better as an all-in-one, and you would just lose 2 beds through that door. Coming on over to this side, we find ourselves in the captain's quarters. So that's up to 15 beds on the ship, I do believe. And then over here we have the 2x2 battle station tab. Finally, right over here, we have the ladder going on up. And this is also where our docking bridge is. Or docking bay. Yeah. And then finally in here we have our cockpit. And that is the ship. So let's go ahead and pop on into Neon now. And we pop on in here to Taiyo Astroneering.
You ready? Tire ships are more than transport. You won't regret your purchase.
So step one is, as usual, to go ahead and get our colors in our palette. And you see I went with a blue, teal, and red to get this color pattern. Alrighty. Now let's go ahead and select everything and delete it. So how do we build this ship? First things first, we are going to go ahead and grab that landing bay. Then we're going to come and select a bottom B. This one is important because we've got these side connections on this post. And then we are going to select a bottom B companionway. And then we're going to select a bottom B infirmary. Next up, we're going to select a 1x1 companionway mid. Connected behind that, we are going to select the 2x2 all-in-one mid. And then we are going to select the all-in-one mid 2x1. Off of the front, we are going to go ahead and select the 2x2 mid top. This will be the top A. No? No, this one should be the top B. And this one is going to be our computer core. And then on this side, we'll grab that top B all-in-one. Then up here, we will go ahead and grab the top B companionway. And we will get another top B companionway on each side of that. Coming forwards, we are now going to select the top B. And this one was the one that was the living quarters from our tour. As I said, probably be better as an all-in-one, but I decided to spice up my habs. Back here we're having the top A, and this is the captain's quarters. And over here we have the top A, and this is the battle stations. Finally, right here we are going to go ahead and place that. I went with the top C. Note that for some reason, Taiyo has the top A, which is like the rest of them, top B, which gives you the side connections, and then the top C and top D are 1x1s that are exactly the same as the top A, but have different colors on them. So, yeah. But I went ahead and grabbed one anyways. Now, I'm going to come on over here and grab my cockpit, which is going to be the Himeji command bridge. Just whatever the best one is. They are all absolutely identical otherwise. And then the command port 200 Docker. Alright, so that is the habitable layout on this ship. So, now that we've got all that, what's next? Well, let's go ahead and grab our reactor and grav drive. So, grav drive first. I'm going to scroll on down. And I went with the Apollo GV200. This gives us a 45 grav jump thrust. And more importantly, it has these side connectors. Now, realistically, probably we need more than the 34 from the GV100, but we probably don't need the full 45. So if there's something else that you want to do, just put everything else on first and then come back to this. Now it doesn't matter which side you put this on. It could be either over here or over here. But we are going to be connecting things on the outside of this. Next up, for our reactor, I have the Pinch 8Z. And that is just tucked in on this other side right here. Alrighty. Next, all around that, we are going to go ahead and grab our cargo. We have Galleon S204 cargo holds. And as you can see, we have 4 of them. So that gives us over 6,000 base cargo capacity. Next up, let's look at our landing gear. So you can see we are using a mixture of the Pinpoint 4G and the Pinpoint 3G. And just to confirm, yep, so we've got these 4 Pinpoint 4Gs. And then we also place the Pinpoint 3Gs. And then let's just double check that that's the right amount. Yep. So we are basically lining all 5 of these slots with the Pinpoint 3Gs. Just like so. All right. Next, let's go ahead and grab our fuel. So for this ship, I'm using 2 H50 Ulysses HE3 tanks. And these are flipped into place over the reactor and the grav drive. So it is clipping in with the landing gear and then connecting to the reactor or the grav drive. Now, normally I don't like flipping 2 pieces that do the same thing over each other. However, or do something. I'm more okay with that with structural pieces. However, I wanted to have this straight line of the landing gear down the side, and putting on the M30s would flip in over the top kind of like this, but it just doesn't quite give the effect that I was looking for. So I made an exception to my usual rule. Alright, now let's talk engines. So this ship is using 3 6330 engines, and it is using 2 5660s. Arranged like this. Now, each of these 6330s do require 2 power versus the 3 power for the 5660s. So we are still using the full 12 engine power, but I just like the aesthetic layout of this, so was willing to go for that. All right, next up, we have we need to put our shield, weapons, and structural pieces. So let's go ahead and start with structural pieces. Let's go ahead and start with the cowling right up here. And then I've got some more cowlings here. Then I have a pair of Taiyo braking engines located just like so. And then you can see I have the Taiyo forward sensors, which I placed right here. The Taiyo cowling, and then another Taiyo cowling. Next, I have the Assurance SG-1800 shield generator, which I placed somewhere in this nose. You could either place it on top of this or underneath the forward sensors, and duplicate the sensors down, but nice and hidden. There we go. All right. And then from here, you can see I have some equipment plates and side caps. So let's start placing those. All right. So I'm just going through and placing a bunch of side caps. You do need to glitch them into place over the landing gear, which is mildly annoying, but sometimes you just have to live with it. All right. And then, I believe that is all of my side caps. So now I need to go ahead and place my equipment plates. There we go. Alrighty then. So that should be all of my structural pieces. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and convert some of these side caps into side cap Bs, so that way I can attach weapons to them. Alrighty, now that that's done, let's go ahead and start placing our weapons. So for this ship, as it is a Class C ship, and scroll all the way on down here, you can see that I have PBO 300 auto alpha turrets, PBO 300 auto alpha beams, and Obliterator 250 MEV auto alpha beams. So we're going to go ahead and place one of those right there. No, not that one. And we just want to tuck these auto alpha beams right there. And then right over here, we can grab the PPO 300s. Interestingly enough, it fits perfectly like that. There's no clipping needed. And then for the turrets, we can just go ahead and place them. There we go. So I've got one arrow now. And that is the Taiyo Battlecruiser. You will note that this is actually a rather compact ship, uh, only 30 meters long and 17 meters wide. Which makes it noticeably different than some of my other more recent ships. All right, so now that we are all built, let's go ahead. Popping up into orbit. And then let's hop on out to Serpentis. There we go. And we've got some list colonists. All right. All right. No elite units, so this is not exactly much of a challenge. And I can't be bothered to go hunting for more loot. Let's go ahead and see if we can find something more challenging to party with. Alrighty. Again, not much of a challenge. And I would like to remind you this is all happening while we are on extreme difficulty, and I am in New Game Plus 2. If anybody shows up. Looking like the answer is no, so let's come on over here. There we go. Wow, there's now enough debris here that it is causing a small bit of lag on my computer. Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and I think just give up on trying to hit Serpentis 2 in the future. Eulogy 2 and a Prophecy 3. Other circumstances, this might be a slightly challenging fight. The other thing that would make this challenging is if there had been like one or two more ships. Well, I suppose he did actually manage to break her shield, so, you know. And not worth wandering over there for. Alright. And a Settler Space Ox. Yay. Alright, let's see if we can get one more encounter. This Prophecy 3 almost broke our shields. Alrighty. And on that note, I will go ahead and leave you. If you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much, and I will see you next time.